All right, I think I'm live. Okay. Hi, everyone. It is Tuesday, October 3rd, 12:53 Eastern Standard Time, Parliament Hill, my office. When I record this video, you may be watching at a different time. Let me know that you can hear me, that this microphone is in fact working, would be ideal. And a couple of things I want to go over with you in this video, but I want to hear from you. I want to check in with you guys, see how things are going, and hear from you directly. So just give it a few seconds here to make sure that this is all working. Okay, let me see. Thanks for your patience while we get this sorted. Okay, just need to check the audio. That is all. Okay. Oh, Jennifer, you're here. Can you hear me, Jennifer? Yeah. Okay. Okay, it's working. Hi, everyone. Okay, great. Okay, so a couple things I want to talk to you about. We just had some new news come out in terms of the housing situation in Canada. So, not sure if you've been watching question period. I highly encourage you to do that. You know, I think that's the best way to get all of the information. And you can watch it on Parlview, Parlvu, and it's an app on your phone, or you can watch it on your iPad or your computer. It's Parlview and it streams live. Question period runs every day when the House is sitting, from about 2:15 to 3:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, today, Canada's Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation, which is run under Justin Trudeau, reported today that Canada had 30,000 fewer housing starts in 2023 as a consequence of soaring interest rates directly caused by Justin Trudeau's inflationary spending. In 2023, the Canadian Mortgage Housing Corporation, or CMHC as they're called, recorded that Canada had 240,000 housing starts, which is down 8% from the previous year. This is well below the Trudeau government's own targets of building 3.87 million homes by 2030, which Canada needs just to restore housing affordability. Now, to make matters worse, the NDP Liberal government's inability to fire gatekeepers and cut red tape is making housing even more unaffordable. You know, it's funny, I met with Habitat for Humanity this week in my office, and the municipal fees, the taxes are just literally strangling out developers. And for affordable homes, like Habitat for Humanity's mandate, which you know they have a great model, it's these taxes that are just destroying them. So, as CMHC said in their report, significant barriers to increasing housing supply include the long-standing challenges of regulatory costs and delays. Yet, instead of dealing with this problem, the NDP Liberal government gave billions to the same gatekeepers who caused this housing hell in the first place. In some cases, like Toronto and Vaughan, Trudeau gave massive amounts of money to local gatekeepers who then immediately raised development taxes. In Toronto, they raised their taxes by more than 20%, and in Vaughan, less than a year after receiving $59 million from Trudeau to reduce red tape, the gatekeepers increased development charges by 17.5%. No wonder Canada has the second slowest building approval times in the OECD. In Vancouver, these development charges and red tape can add as much as $1.3 million to the cost of a single detached home. And so, you know, we were talking about that this week as well, right? With the fees alone in Peterborough, for example, have jumped significantly as well, and it impacts everyone, as you can imagine. So now the NDP Liberal government has decided to increase taxes on home building through their capital gains inclusion rate increase. As the CMHC stated, small investors provide much of the funding to build condo apartments. Yet Trudeau's capital gains increase will cripple this investment. In Quebec, the Corporation de Propriétaires Immobiliers du Québec, I'm working on my French. Thanks for your patience. Has called this tax increase a severe blow to housing construction, but Trudeau is refusing to listen. That's what he does best. Enough is enough. So we're working on restoring that, and I think, that's one of the biggest issues we're talking about. Michael Chong is one of my favorite MPs to watch in the House. He's been doing this for so long. He's sat in government, and our GDP, which is how rich each one of us is the worst it's ever been in 50 years. And so when Trudeau was questioned on this in the House this week, it was actually Finance Minister Freeland. She just gaslights and say things have never been so good. And then you have tent cities popping up everywhere across this country, and yet they'll say, we're doing a great job. And they're hanging on to power, and it's just so frustrating for people at home, because they're like, when is this going to end? And it will end. It has to end. And I want to reassure you of that. But I think it's very important you understand. And in my role in opposition, you have to understand how we got here. It wasn't just happenstance. These are direct policies. This is a direct lack of leadership from the Prime Minister. And it is him that sets the tone for how everything is done. So if he doesn't take accountability for anything, then the rest of his ministers do the same. I want to touch on two more points before I wrap up here, but I also want to hear from you guys. I had a group of folks in here today for a meeting, and it was just baffling. Not surprising. There very few things surprise me anymore. So they're the Métis Nation of BC. And they were here to tell me that under this National School Food Program by the Liberal and NDP, this another program that's going to do all of these great things, right? They create the problem. They create the highest food insecurity we've ever seen in history, the highest food bank usage we've ever seen in history. 30% of users are children. Okay, so they create this problem, and then because they overspend and they waste money, and there's scandal after scandal and corruption, and then they come in on the other side and they're like, oh, we're going to help you. We're going to give you a Band-Aid after we just cut off your leg. And that's what the National School Food Program is, right? It's another announcement. It's another thing full of empty promises. So this program has not delivered one meal to children. And so what the BC Nation, Métis Nation told me today, the Métis Nation of BC rather told me today, is that they have been completely cut out of this program. I said, well, why? I said, oh, they don't know. They don't know. It's like Habitat for Humanity was just cut out of being GST exempt. Why? They said, oh, because it's only on new builds, not on affordable housing. And this is the kind of incompetence you see within these ministries. So the Métis Nation of BC was cut out of the National School Food Program. Okay, but they were offered engagement dollars. I said, what do you mean engagement dollars? Well, we were offered money to go make meetings with the province. So no food. Nothing in there is a food for children. It's food for children. It's bureaucracy. Oh, it makes zero sense. And so that's what we've seen across the country with this program over and over again. They pick winners and losers. They oh, we're going to help you, or we'll do a carve out for you. They did this with the carbon tax. Yeah, we'll do a carve out for you over here because that's politically good for us, but we're not going to do a carve out for you over here. We're going to pit you guys against each other. You get special treatment, but you don't. And that's the chaos. That's the chaos that happens. And so you can tell that this program has never once and isn't going to feed any children. It's just another program that is designed to distract, and it's an epic failure. So I wanted to talk about that. And the last thing I wanted to tell you about was carbon tax. So now you actually have the food professor. If you're not following the food professor, he's amazing. But, he's done all of these studies, and it's going to increase the cost of food yet 34% again with Trudeau's plan to quadruple the carbon tax. And it's just compounded it's like, the compound impact of carbon tax is just driving up the cost of every single thing. When you tax fuel, you are going to have an economy that suffers. Like, that is the reality of this. And taxing people into poverty is not good policy. It's certainly not compassionate. So I wanted to know how you guys were doing. I wanted to know if you're ready for a carbon tax election, and I wanted you to make sure that you are staying tuned and paying attention, watching CPAC, what's going to happen, you know, what is going to happen. We will put forward more non-confidence motions. We will keep doing and keep the pressure on. Yeah, exactly. I'm reading some of your comments here. Yes, that was great, Emily. Thank you for watching that. So she says, I think the comparison to Alabama was a good visual to folks. I felt the house went quiet for a sec. Yeah, exactly. If you missed this yesterday, again, I highly encourage you to watch Question Period. You'll see lots. So I just wanted to touch base, see how everybody's doing. I still think it's really important for you guys to share your stories with me. I love to use them in the house when I'm doing the speeches, how the economy is impacting you. Are you able to access childcare? You know, how are you finding the cost of food? These are all things, you know, how are you feeling about your downtown, public safety? These are the things that we're really focused on, right? When you hear us talk about fixing the budget, axing the tax, building the houses, and stopping the crime. These are the policies that we will be expanding on to ensure that life is better for you and more affordable. So I would like to, I want an election now too, Harry. I would love to hear from you guys. Your stories really resonate when I'm able to read them into the record in the House of Commons or in committee about how, you know, how the current economy and the policies of the Justin Trudeau Jagmeet Singh government have impacted you. So please write to me. Love to hear from you and keep sharing. We're not giving up. We will keep holding them to account, keep their feet to the fire, and again, can't encourage you enough to watch CPAC and stay informed. Great to see all of you. Thanks so much for joining me. We will talk to you guys soon, and hope all is well.